In this video, we're going to take a deeper look at tracks. To create a new track, press Command Shift N. After performing this shortcut, a new track dialog box will come up. The first thing you'll see will be the word Create. Next to that, there'll be a number. This number details how many tracks you want to create of this type. The row next to that handles all stereo imaging. The row next to that allows you to choose what type of track you're creating, and the final row allows you to choose what time base you're going to create. After that, you'll have a plus sign that allows you to make more tracks of either the same or change it up. There are 6 main types of tracks in Pro Tools: audio, aux, master, VCA, MIDI, and instrument. I'm going to go ahead and make one of everything. Shortcuts you should know in this section. If you press up or down, it'll change the numeric count of how many tracks you create of a certain type. Holding Command while pressing the left or right key changes the stereo imaging of a track. Holding Command and pressing up or down allows you to toggle through the different types of tracks. And then if you hold Shift and Command and press up or down, we'll either add new types of tracks or delete the last row that you just made. If you've already seen the track overview video, all of this should look very familiar. You've got your inserts, your sends, your I/O panel, and of course your main column. As you can see, each track is named by what type of track it is. Let's go ahead and double click on the first track. Now you can rename the track and leave comments. To toggle to the next track, press Command and the left, right, up, or down buttons. As you can see, the name is now changed. Now that we have an array of tracks, you can see that each one doesn't have the same header information. Solo and mute are pretty much the only standard track functions that every track has. Tracks like auxiliary don't have record enable or input monitoring. Your MIDI and instrument tracks also don't have input monitoring, and your master fader has a totally different group of options. It's worth noting, these tracks might seem a little bit smaller, but you can always make the track larger by either clicking its top right button or the gray bar on the right side. Even though the track is smaller, everything is still here. It's just a little more compact. When it comes to the imaging of your audio tracks, something that's worth noting is if you can't find the plugin you want when you're trying to use it on an insert, it might be because you're using a mono audio track rather than a stereo audio track. When you click on the insert track in mono, it only says plugin. Stereo audio tracks can use both multi-channel and multi-mono plugins. Some plugins only have stereo forms, so if you want to use it on a mono track, you're probably going to have to use a bus. Remember that the standard use case for inserts are dynamics and EQ plugins. Though this doesn't mean you can't go rogue. If you want to use it for something else like a special effect, have at it. Just remember, signal flow completely affects inserts. So if you put a delay before a compressor, that compressor is going to activate with every delay tap. Now let's look at the send column. Sends are used to literally send signal to an input and then use that signal however you'd like. In essence, sends allow you to make signal wet without damaging the file or the signal flow. Right now, we're going to have our send go to bus 1 and 2, and we'll make the input to our first auxiliary channel also bus 1 and 2. Though we could add anything to this bus. Let's go ahead and just add a reverb. Let's set up some more tracks, and we'll come back to the reverb. Now we're on our MIDI track. When it comes to MIDI, there are a few things to remember. In your I/O column, the first thing that you'll always see will be all. All stands for all channels. This means whatever MIDI signal is coming in, regardless of what channel it's coming out of, Pro Tools will receive. Just like when you press record enable on an audio track, when you press record enable on a MIDI track, if signal is coming through, there's an indication. Now, as long as the transport is also recording, this is what it looks like if it's picking up MIDI signal. As you can see, the bar that normally allows you to make the track larger or smaller is now a very, very small piano roll. And now you've created your very first MIDI clip. Now let's look at the instrument track. Instrument tracks are used for VST instruments. So just as you would if you were using an insert on an audio track, go to the insert column, decide if you're using a multi-channel or a multi-mono plugin. Kontakt would be a multi-channel plugin, and something like True Pianos would just be a multi-mono plugin, and then go to the instrument tab. I'm going to go ahead and use Pro Tools stock electric piano instrument. Now, since we've already recorded something on the MIDI track, I'm just going to go ahead and move it down to our instrument track. Now, let's audition what we've got. Cool, so now you know what it sounds like. Now, let's say I didn't love this take, but I didn't want to get rid of it. Let's go ahead and make an alternative playlist. Alternative playlists allow you to make something totally new without erasing what you already have. So, I'm going to go ahead and record something brand new. Perfect. Now, as you can see, I can go back to either or, and it maintains the selection I have in case I need to do edits back and forward. This works better if you're using audio. And I'm going to go ahead and move that bus I made earlier that goes to the reverb. So now we can put our send into practice. Generally, you probably wouldn't make a send that aggressive, but I wanted to make sure you could hear the difference. Now to the one thing that all of these tracks have in common, the master fader. The master fader is in control of the volume overall of the entire project. So if you move its volume down, the entire thing goes down. If you move it up, the entire thing goes up. If you want to draw an automation, select the pencil tool. You can easily see and then hear the differences. Now you know how to create, control, and configure tracks.